Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game.
This is Dale Valor.
This is Pamela Ross.
This is Trinasia.
And you're listening
to
Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Game On with Jackson Stuart. Killing them!
Follow Game On with Jackson Stuart on YouTube at Game On with Jack, on the official blog www.gameonwithjack.blog, and at the new store www.gameonwithjack.shop. Keep it sexy and game on.
Good people, sexy people, welcome to Game On with Jackson Stuart, podcast that dives deep into strategies for success in every level of the game. Tonight we're keeping on with the theme of success in every stage of life, and we're going to be hitting the fellas in the 40s. Previous show we talked about guys in their 30s, now we're talking about when you're in your 40s and that unique stage of your life. 6 great steps for, I don't know if I'd call guys in their 40s silver foxes. I think we're too young to be silver foxes, but 6 great steps for men in their 40s. Being in your 40s is a pivotal decade filled with unique challenges and opportunities. But before we get into that, I want to make sure I invite you guys to follow me on YouTube at Game On with Jack, patreon.com/Game On with Jack, where you can subscribe to get Game On guides. Catch the blog, GameOnWithJack.blog. You guys are picking up a theme here. Twitter, the handle is at Game On with Jack. And last but not least, make sure you swing by the brand new player shop. It's still new. I think it's still new. www.GameOnWithJack.shop. As I said previously, you guys can get ebooks there. Short, sweet, but powerful, on sale. Get a couple ebooks for yourself. You deserve it. And make sure you take advantage of the free teachable Game On with Jackson Stuart guide. I think the one that's free up there is tips on having your best night ever. And it's totally applicable now that, we're post-pandemic. Restaurants are at full capacity for the most part. Bars are open, clubs are open, parties are happening. So definitely you owe it to yourself to get some tips and pointers so that you can level up your night. You can have a better time and be a better player at all of it. So, gentlemen, with that having been said, let's gear up and get ready to talk about being 40. So, your 20s are quote unquote when people expect you to make mistakes because you're young, you're still kind of immature, but you're kind of battling out of that. And your 30s are when you're supposed to start getting an angle or a position or vision of your life. And as we defined before, as we stated before, first thing you got to do is define what is success for you. What is winning at this particular stage, or what is winning in general for you in life? And as stated before, you want to make sure that winning and your goals are not purely just material items. You want this size house. You want this kind of car. You want a woman or man that looks like this. You don't want everything to just be physical and material. Why is that? Well, physical and material things can be taken very swiftly. The beautiful car that you've always dreamt of and have staked your success upon can be taken out in a car accident or stolen. The X amount of dollars that you've always stated would make you happy and make you feel successful. Well, the economy is largely out of your control and things can happen and all of a sudden you've lost a lot of money, whether it be in stock or et cetera. So while some material items are important, you should stake your status of winning on items that are internal, more self-reflective, more self-driven, because those things cannot be taken from you. Integrity, dignity, respect, empathy, sympathy, being seen as somebody that gets stuff done because you are somebody that gets stuff done, those are things that cannot be taken away from you. So you definitely need to define what is winning for you. And then every decade, to me, in my experience, I've tried to keep the same 80 to 90% of my goal vision, no matter what age I've been. It's always to level up, to learn more, read more. I'm being kind of vague on some of these, but these were things that don't change no matter how old I've gotten. And they can be, obviously they're tailored because as you get older, you get property, you get a family, you change jobs, you get community positions, etc. But one level above the minutia, the details that change, the goals are still the same. So I think that's important. You need to define what means success to you in your 40s. I mean, it might mean on the microscopic scale or the lower scale, something's different than in your 30s. And that's totally fine because we change, we evolve. But make a lot of that internal. That pursuit of growth and stuff, that won't change. It should just be added to as you get older. So let's get through these 6 steps. And this is in no particular order, but I like to put numbers of things. So step 1, embrace self-reflection and rediscover your purpose. So in your 40s, it's essential to take the time for self-reflection and rediscover your purpose. You've got 4 decades on this planet. Yeah, the first one don't count. I mean, what are you, 10? How much are you learning at the age of 10? Now, barring traumatic experiences, your natural growth and learning process at the age of 10 is a little bit on the shallow side because you're a kid. But those other 30 years, those other 3 decades have been filled with some learning. And you want to reflect on your past achievements. That's huge because in your 40s, you're losing things. You're losing people. Now, I'm not saying that 40s is old. I'm not saying, oh, my goodness. And I hate people. Yes, I hate people. And I hate when people do this. I hate the people. Oh, man, you're 40. You're old. Oh, wait till this happens. Wait till you start getting it. Yeah, you're going to get some body pains. Yep, get it, fucker. All right, move on. Some people don't. Some people in their 40s move better and faster than people in their 20s. So I hate people who want to give you doom and gloom about getting old. Getting older, you don't have to get old. It's that great Pablo Picasso quote, and you guys have heard me use it here numerous times. You don't stop playing because you got old. You got old because you stopped playing. You are going to age. Your body is going to change to some degree because you are getting older. But that doesn't mean that it's the end. That doesn't mean that your days are going to be full of pain and agony. No, I always like to say, I feel good because I could still beat my own ass in my 20s. Now, I might heal a little bit slower after I fight that guy, but I could still give me 20 years ago a run for my money. So I'm good with that. You want to reflect on those past achievements because as you're coming up against loss in your 40s, or as you may be coming up against changing careers, maybe getting married, maybe getting remarried, maybe getting divorced, maybe moving, maybe sending the kids off to college, whatever it's going to be, there's going to be some life changes that's going to hit you in your 40s, and it's going to make you doubt. It's going to come at you, both guns blazing, to make you second guess a lot of things, and it could fill you with self-doubt. The quickest way to battle self-doubt is to reflect back on all your successes and to build yourself up with the fact that, I've done this kind of stuff before and I've won. I've done these kind of things before and I've succeeded. So reflect on past achievements, experiences, successes, and the lessons you've learned, unless you've been a total dumbass. And I'm not talking IQ level, but I'm talking about just ignorant to the people around you and your days that you have spent on earth. You have learned some things. You have lessons that are unique to you that are good, solid lessons. So fall back on those. Reflect on them. Reflection is not a bad thing. Reflection is not only for the aged and the people on their deathbeds. No, reflection, it's like having an internal encyclopedia or an internal Google that you can flip back on and do a search for information that's at your fingertips because you've gone through this shit before. It's very important that you see your reflection, that your past experiences, your 40 years on this planet as a gift. All right, so embrace that self-reflection, rediscover your purpose. What was it that got you up out of bed before the alarm went off in your 30s or your 20s. Now, maybe the exact place has changed. Maybe it was a job you were working, but maybe it was just something you were doing. Maybe it was, maybe it was something of service, something of gratitude that would fire you up and get you going. So evaluate where you stand in your personal and professional life and identify also areas for growth and improvement and fall back on, and when I say fall back, I don't mean like, give up and surrender and go back to a better place. When you fall back, review those things that gave you purpose, the things that did get you up out of bed on fire, those things that did, light you up that you feel like, man, I could do this all day. Those things. Reconnect with your passions and your values. So many people in their 40s think it's the end of their lives. Oh my God, I'm 40. Nothing's going to be the same. And, oh, it's just downhill from here. No, fuck that shit. Don't talk like that, guys. Knock that shit off. And if people talk like that to you all the time, get away from them, because it's only a matter of time before they will suck the energy out of you and put that vibe on you. And you're going to start to think like that. Get away from them. I don't care if they're your besties. I don't care if they're your family. Get away from them. You don't have to abandon them, but you don't have to listen to that shit all day. Align yourself and your actions with your true purpose. What is it that has gotten you to your 40s with a smile on your face? You've had some rough breaks. You've had some tough days. I get it. But some days made you smile. What the hell was it? And get back to that. This introspection will set the foundation for a fulfilling and successful journey ahead. You're 40. You ain't dead. You got a lot of time still on this earth. And you want that time to be filled with a fulfilling and a successful life. And a big part of that is winning in your 40s. Next step, prioritize your health and wellness. All right, so we ain't 20 anymore. So healing might be a little bit different. Energy levels might be a little bit different. Now, I'm not some testosterone commercial with old sports figures and athletes in it, but as we enter our 40s, maintaining our health and our wellness becomes extremely important, very critical. Making exercise a part of your day is non-negotiable. You got to do it. It's got to be a part of your day, part of your routine. Now in your 20s, and I've quoted this before, Jamie Foxx, and I hope Jamie Foxx recovers from his latest medical emergencies. But Jamie Foxx had a great quote in a magazine some odd years ago where he said in his 20s, it was all about his beach muscles, right? He was trying to get like the six pack and the giant biceps. But then he said as he got older, he was working out to injury proof his body. He was putting work on his core. So you're not going to be doing things like, I bet I could bench press 400 pounds or 800 pounds. Yeah, we're not doing that. Your workout is going to be a blend of cardiovascular work, strength training exercises. You want to build up a muscular structure that as your body ages, you can still stand up straight. You can still get up unassisted. You can run a little bit. You can jog. You can go up the stairs without groaning like the oldest man alive. And how do you do this? Well, start out with, if you're not already doing it, get a physical once a year. All right. You got to know what you're starting out with. Focus on a balanced and nutritious diet. You're not going to be eating, burgers every day of the week like you did when you were younger. And that's okay. It's actually a good thing. You want to make sure your body is getting fuel to do what it needs to do. You want the right nutrition. How do you do this? After you get a physical, go get a dietitian. And after you get a physical and a dietitian, go to the gym and sign up on a program. Have somebody, a lot of gyms offer some type of one-on-one training. Have somebody work with you. Tell them your goals. All right. Also, make sure you pick a workout routine that you can do. That's a challenge, but you can grow through. In your 20s, maybe you could run a mile in 8 minutes or 9 minutes. Maybe you can't do that in your 40s. That doesn't mean you give up. It just means you change things. Maybe now you're trying to run a mile in 12 minutes. And you're going to, find a program that helps you do that kind of thing. Prioritizing sleep and stress management and regular health checkups are all important. Sleep. I know once upon a time, way back, you could stay up all night go to work, go to class, and then maybe crash on the weekend. You could, what is it? Rinse, wash, and repeat, or wash, rinse, and repeat. You could do that over and over all week. Maybe in your 40s you can't, but who wants to? Remember, not only is your 40s about not being able to do all the things you used to, but your 40s is also about not having to, not needing to, not wanting to. In your 20s, you want to go out every night of the week. In your 30s, maybe you want to go out every night of the week. By your 40s, you realize you shouldn't have gone out every night of the week because there's a lot of bullshit. You wasted a lot of money at places. It's okay to reevaluate some of the things that you no longer can do through the lens of the fact that maybe you never had to do them in the first place. Stress management is important because stress is a silent killer, especially as you get older, not old, but older. You want to make sure that you are injury proofing and fine tuning your body. And part of that means getting in front of things that are avoidable, that are preventable. You don't have to die from a heart attack that's stress induced. You don't have to die from a stroke that's that's stress induced. You don't have to endure these things if you can get in front of your stress. So you've gone to your doctor. You got a dietitian. You got someone that helps you build a workout routine that focuses on cardiovascular work, some treadmill stuff, but not all just treadmill and cardio, and some strength training, weights, but not all weights like you're trying to compete in some 18-year-old bodybuilding contest. All right, cool. But now what about your insides? What about how you feel? That's when you go and get a therapist, get a counselor. Nothing wrong with that. Get somebody to talk about how, what you've been going through. You've been doing this for 40 years. You got some baggage, man. We all do. Go talk to somebody about it and go have them look and evaluate inside and give you the tools to address wounds that may be decades old, generational wounds that you don't want to pass on to your family if you're building one, your kids if you're having some. Okay? Regular health checkups are important, and by prioritizing your well-being, prioritizing your health and your wellness, you're going to have the energy and vitality to tackle any challenge that comes your way. You may be better off than you were in your 30s, in your 20s, because maybe in your 20s, you ate shit and didn't do anything. Maybe in your 30s, you were always complaining about, I shouldn't have ate that shit was in my 20s. But 40s is a good launching point, fellas. So if you young bucks out there who are like, oh man, 30 is where it's at, or 20 is where it's at, when I hit 40, it's the end of the world. Bullshit. Look forward to getting to 40. Celebrate now. The present's all we got, but plan for the future. Look forward to it. So we've got embracing self-reflection. We've got prioritizing our health and our wellness. Next step, number 3, we've got developing financial literacy and plan for the future. In your 40s, it's time to level up your money game. And like I said before, whatever you did with money up to this point, get over it. One of the worst things you can do while you try and adjust and fix and repair and explode to the next level of your money game is to carry a bunch of guilt and, I shouldn't have, or why didn't I know this? All that negativity is going to affect your money. Money is energy. Money is freedom. If you bring in bad shit, it's going to slow down your process and your progress. So dump that. New day. Boom. We're about to start. New starting line. Starting from zero. Let's level up the money game. Take steps to develop financial literacy. Read about it. Educate yourself about it. And I said this for the 30s show. Susie Orman, great source. Napoleon Hill, timeless source. Tony Robbins, great book about money. And I forget the author's names, but there's The Psychology of Money is a great book. And also The Mind of a Millionaire, great book. Tons of great material about financial literacy. Get information from your bank. Talk to your bankers. The bank has people who are dying to make appointments with you. And it's not going to charge you anything because you bank there. Meet with them. Lay it all out. Have no shame. And if they make you feel like shit, go get somebody else that makes you feel good. That makes you feel like it's okay to be at the level where you at, starting where you are. Because the only thing worse than starting with Baggage is not starting at all, and everybody's got baggage. So look at your retirement planning. If you're in your 40s, maybe you're only working for another 20 years or 25 years, whatever. Maybe you're working less. Also, now is a good time to look at wealth creation. In your 40s, hopefully you're a little bit more mature than you were in your 20s. And you can handle things like entrepreneurship, like multiple streams of income, like, like investing. All right. So that's when you want to meet with somebody who's knowledgeable, who can help you tackle new money ideas and new ways of thinking to reach new levels of creation. It's still a classic saying. If you want something you never had, you got to be somebody you've never been. Assess your current financial situation, create a budget, and set clear financial goals. One of the big benefits of being in your 40s is hopefully you got some discipline. Consider working with a financial advisor, like I said, to develop a long-term plan that lines up with your aspirations. Maybe you do want to start that business. Finally, in your 40s, yes, go do it. But you might have to take a loan out. All right, talk to the bank, see what's out there. Maybe you want to refinance your house at a better interest rate. Talk to the bank, talk to the mortgage company, explore things. There's nothing wrong with asking a question. Building financial security is going to provide you with the freedom and peace of mind to navigate those coming years when you don't want to work like you used to. All right, so step 4, you want to cultivate meaningful relationships. Hopefully you did this in your 30s. It's a whole new decade. Things have changed. You've encountered some loss. You've encountered some gain. Maybe you've lost people in your family, your parents, siblings. Maybe you lost some friends. Maybe you've gained some. Maybe you got married. Maybe you adopted. Maybe you had kids. Maybe you found out you've got half siblings, or you were adopted and you found, like, in your 40s, you more than likely have encountered some wild shit with relationships. A successful life is not just about personal achievements, but it's about cultivating meaningful relationships. And no time like the present, fellas. We're in this fourth decade on Earth. Invest that time and that effort in nurturing relationships with your partner, your children, your family, your friends. In your 40s, not saying that you're old, but there are more things you're going to encounter that are going to try to degrade your body. Okay? So, clock's ticking. You are 40. It's a good chance you got 50, 60 years ahead of you, but you might not. You might have less time ahead of you than you have behind you. You don't want to leave this earth with some unspoken shit, with bad blood, with people who you really do care about. Put in some time, put in the effort, build up those relationships. If you struggle with relationships, well, shit, step 2 was prioritize health and wellness. You went out, did good. You got you a therapist, got somebody to talk to work through some of the stuff that trips you up when it comes to connecting with people. Communicate openly with people. Listen attentively. Make sure you listen more than you talk, and be present in their lives. If you got kids, you want to be there for them. If you got godkids, be there for them. Your friends, be there for them. You want to be just a singular fixed point in the lives of the people you care about. Because in your 40s, you've got some wisdom. Like I said, unless you're just a dumbass, you've been ignoring everything in your life, but you've got wisdom. You've got tenacity. You didn't make it to 40 on sheer luck. You didn't glide in. You came in with some scratches, some scars, some nicks, some bumps, some bruises. You're tough. You're tougher than you think. People need that toughness in their lives, and you can be that person that people, when they are in a bad spot, can throw a rope around you as an anchor and hold on for dear life because they've got you backing them up. You yourself need to surround yourself with positive and supportive people, the network of individuals who can inspire you and challenge you. In your 40s, you can be a mentor to people, but don't be afraid of learning and leaning on people who are younger than you. There's some wise cats that are only 20-something, 18, something like that. Let them build you up and support you. Some people younger than you may be amazed at what you do. Keep them in your circle. not to feed your ego, but it's nice to hear people say, damn, man, like, I heard you were a damn legend. There's some shit like that. Yeah, people call Jack a legend every now and then. It's nice to hear that. It's nice to build people up. It's nice to pass along what you've known. And by mentoring people, you in turn get mentored by those people. You're going to learn things from, young bloods in the game that you didn't, like, shit, I never knew that. It's not a competition, and it's an exchange of information, and that's a cool thing. Strong relationships provide emotional support and a sense of belonging, and they contribute to overall life satisfaction. These things are important because in your 40s, you may start to stretch out and reach out for new things, starting a business, starting a family, moving, starting a new job. These solid relationships can help anchor you, can help keep you grounded while you reach out to expand and explore new parts of your life. So you're not thrown back and forth through the wind. So definitely cultivate these relationships, very important, which leads us also to step 5, embrace continuous learning and adaptability. A lot of guys in their 40s start to turn into stone. I ain't got nothing else to learn. There's nothing else for people to teach me. An old dog can't learn new tricks. It's all bullshit. It's all fear. You still got plenty to learn. We all do. I know people in their 90s are learning things about computers and technology for the first time. And why? Because when you stop learning, when you stop adapting, that's when you get old. When you stop playing, that's when you get old. That's when your ass turns all shriveled up and raisin-like because you just took your hands off the wheel and said, that's it, I got nothing else. There's nothing else to put in this brain. This brain knows everything. And in reality, it's a lot of people just saying they're too scared to make the effort to make mistakes. Because in order to learn, you got to make mistakes. In order to learn, you have to say, I don't know. And I don't know is not an admittance of weakness. It's actually very strong to say, I don't know, because that's you saying, hey, show me something. School me on something. That continuous learning is growth, man. And if something's growing, guess what? It ain't dying. It's not getting old if it's growing. So you want to thrive in your 40s and beyond, embrace a growth mindset and a commitment to lifelong learning. Learn a new language. Learn something. Money. Start picking up books. Become a master of money. When in your 20s and 30s, you're all like, oh, I don't know about money and I'm bad with money. Stop saying that. Pick up books, master money. Shit, go back and get a degree in it. Get a degree in something. Take classes. There's a thing called the internet. Take classes online. Go to GameOnWithJack.shop. Take that teachable course on there. Then sign up for the paid course about how to become an alpha male. But stay curious, stay open-minded, seek out new knowledge and skills. You know, some people are like, oh, what's all this TikTok crap? That's just for kids. No, take your ass over there and learn what TikTok is. And start your TikTok account and start putting up videos and get you a following. Adapt to changing technologies and market trends by staying updated. All right. Pursue professional development opportunities at work, new workshops, new courses, new certifications. Like, don't just shut down because you're in your 40s. I don't care if you're 41 or if you're 49. You're still in your 40s, still time to kick ass. Remember, guys, personal growth is the ongoing process that keeps you relevant, adaptable, ahead of the game, and keeps you young, keeps you youthful. You know, when I was in my 20s, I knew guys in their 40s that sounded like they were in their 80s. But I knew guys in their 40s I was running to keep up with because they were just hungry for life and learning and growth. And that was a beautiful thing. And you want to have that. And lastly, cultivate a good work-life integration. Achieving work-life balance is a common goal, right, for every part of your life. When you're 40s, it's more about how the two blend together. Because you probably have been on a job for a while. Excuse me. Sometimes they call you, at home. Sometimes home is going to demand you do things at work, or you got to print this out for the kids, or you got to, make your insurance is good, your beneficiary is whatever. You got to go to work and you got to leave a half day because you got to pick up, your dad from the doctor. Whatever it is, you want to align your personal and professional pursuits. You don't want your work life and your home life to constantly be in opposition, pulling you apart. You want synergy between the two. You want both to understand that at some point in time, work's going to need 80% of you and home's going to get 20, or your personal life's going to get 20. And there may be times when home life gets 80 and work gets 20, and you want those two lives to be cool with it. And that is a lot about you and who you have come to be in your 40s and in these realms, right? These spheres of influence in which you exist. You will need to set clear boundaries and prioritize your time and energy effectively, okay? You don't want to live to work. You work to live. You never want to spend so much time pursuing your career or pursuing somebody else's career, right? And look back in your 60s and 70s and not know your kids, not know your spouse, not know your partner, not know the last years of maybe your parents or the years of your siblings or whoever, or close friends, because you just had your head down and your nose to the grindstone working. At the same time, you don't want to be so involved with your life that you can't keep a job or you're not advancing at work. So you got to have boundaries. You got to be able to prioritize your time and energy. Delegate tasks where it's possible. And you want to focus on high impact activities. Maybe you don't do the stuff at work like you used to when you were there 10 years ago, but the projects you do hit are fucking huge. Same with your personal life. Maybe you don't go out every single night of the week like you used to, but when you do go out, like maybe you go out every other Friday, you're balls to the wall. You are Mr. Good Time. That's fine. And embrace flexibility. Post-COVID, post-pandemic, there's a lot of telework, a lot of new work arrangements. Try them if they're available. Don't be rigid. Be flexible. And when you integrate work and life harmoniously, you can excel your career and your personal life while enjoying both at the same time. They don't have to be in opposition. So lastly, guys, 40s is where it's at. And maybe I'm saying that because I'm in my 40s. But no, I mean, I've always been in awe of 40s because I feel like 40s is where you really start to bang it out. And if you don't feel that way, then shit, change your thinking. If you're not in your 40s yet, you got a lot to look forward to. If out of your 40s, hey, you're in your 50s, and that's a whole new world. I will be doing a show about being in your 50s pretty soon. Not when I get 50, but it'll be coming up. And just remember, like 40 is a decade of self-discovery. It's a decade of growth. It's a decade to seize opportunities, and when you can't seize them, go and make them. Look up how many people in their 40s started kicking ass. I mean, Samuel Jackson, everybody knows who Samuel Jackson is. One of, if not the highest grossing actor of all time. He didn't start acting until he was 47. And I guarantee you it wasn't like the Samuel Jackson we know now. He was doing, I think his first movie role was Jungle Fever, and he played a crackhead. Memorable, great role, but he wasn't the Samuel Jackson he is now. 47, come on now. If Samuel Jackson can do it, shit, we all can. Remember, gentlemen, it's never too late to level up your game and redefine success in your term, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or 1,000. All right. So, hey, real quick, guys, catch me on YouTube, Game On With Jack, patreon.com, the blog, gameonwithjack.blog, Twitter, @GameOnWithJack, and the Players Shop, gameonwithjack.shop. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to Game On with Jackson Stuart, the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, etc. Leave me a review, leave me comments, love to read them. Stay tuned for more empowering discussions and great guests on living your best life and achieving greatness at every stage. Until next time, keep it sexy and game on.